push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ and Richie on this side, and on the other side, the gurus of the sports world. It is our good friends from Purple Cat and Golden String, Scotty, Kristen, and of course, the one, and by God, the only, Radar Pavlov. How are we, guys?
Doing pretty good today. In fact, 2 days ago, our friend and colleague Scott Mincher just turned the big 34, and Scotty, I gotta say, you have shared the same number as a legendary NFL running back by the name of the late Walter Payton.
Oh, I do. That's right. And you're Jackie Robinson.
Oh yeah, 42.
That's how you start a show. That's how you start a show. Kristen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Wonderful. Thanks for asking. A beautiful Wednesday, and you guys have been hard at work. And Radar, tell us what you've been up to today.
Well, this is on the Radar article. It is titled the 1987.
No, you're not reading it.
Well, no.
Just tell them exactly what you wrote.
Well, my mind,
I thought he was going to read the whole thing.
There's a whole lot that's going on, obviously, particularly with the three schools that are playing for all the marbles this coming weekend, South Range, Canfield, and Warren JFK. I would say it's going to be one of the best satisfying years in high school football this Valley's had in quite a long time.
All right, are we going to go right to the picks? Is that what we're going to do?
Well, we're going to get to the picks at the end because I was about ready to say, DJ, I understand you have this date in history of right as we were about ready to come on.
We sure do. On this day of sports history starts now. All right, so on this day in sports history in 2015, not that long ago, everybody can kind of remember that, NBA star in the late Kobe Bryant from the LA Lakers announces his intention to retire at the end of the season. Of course, one of the greatest basketball players, in my opinion, all time. One of the best finishers, assassins of all time, and the best to do it. And he's got some great motivational speeches out there as well. So, question is, where does Kobe rank for you guys on the best of all time? Is he in the top 5? Is he in the top 10? Is he in the top 3? Scotty, we'll start with you.
Kobe was a great player. He's definitely and of course gone way too soon. I still like that day the helicopter accident. It was like one of those things I couldn't believe because he's one of those guys like I expected to be at Lakers games for the rest of his life. But great player, but I don't probably even have Kobe in the top 10.
Wow.
Now, I do think he's top 20. I'll say he's in the top 20, but I don't have him in the top 10.
Kristen?
Top 5.
Top 5. Can
Yes.
you name your 5?
That would be too hard to even do, but he would definitely be in the top 5.
All right. Radar?
I gotta say, really, on Kobe, he's definitely among the top 20 NBA players of all time. And I remember thinking back to when to Game 4 of the 2000 NBA Finals when Kobe helped deliver the Lakers to a Game 4 victory over the Indiana Pacers, to his 81-point game against Toronto in 2006. I got to say Kobe has to be one of the great NBA players, 20 great NBA players, basically of all time, DJ, right there.
Raider, how did you remember the dates and the teams? That's kind of wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, it goes back. If you tell him the day in the year you were born, he knows he could go back and tell you the day of the week you were born on. He knows the day. He's always right.
Okay. Radar, February 5th, 1985. What day of the week was it?
February 5, 1985. Well, the birthday Salvin says, his radar says February 5, 1985 would be on a Tuesday in 1985. And DJ, you're a few months Kristen Seidler's senior, I understand.
It was a Tuesday. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
What?
All right, Rich, what are you?
September 21st, 1999.
September 21st, 1999. That would be the same year that I graduated at Brothers High School back then, and the same year that the last public school from the Valley won it all in football. That would be September 21, 1999. That would also be on a Tuesday that year.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, the 2 for Tuesdays, I would say.
How do you do that?
I'm going to take you to a casino.
Well, because I look at the almanac and I can look at the calendars, and because my mind really is really sharp. Yeah,
I'm not going to argue with him.
Holy crap!
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
He could go back like years and years, because I remember I gave him like my great grandma, who's been long passed on, and he nailed that too. Like it's crazy.
That's nuts. That might have been one of the coolest things I've seen. All right, so do we know this Celiana? Does anybody know Celiana? Okay.
I don't.
Mm-mm.
Everybody's saying you're amazing, Radar. T.O. Williams says you're amazing.
Yeah, there you go. And thank you, T.O. And I really can say really everyone out there, it is really fun to be a part of the Ysn Power Hour. And I got to say really that we choose whatever topic, and I really can say really the 3 Valley schools, 2 of them public, they have a real good shot at bringing home a state title for the first time in 23 long years.
Are you saying the 2 of the schools have a good shot, or the
Yes.
public schools have a good shot?
The public's, I would say everybody has a real good shot with South Range, JFK, and Canfield, because it has been 6 long years since the Valley has had any OHSAA football champion of any division class.
Which was?
Warren JFK.
That's right.
Now, South Range is open enrollment, correct?
They are.
South Range is open enrollment.
Because Ironton as well.
Yeah.
Figured that out.
How about this one, Radar?
Yeah.
The 440 burner account says April 17th.
What year, though?
Oh, yeah, what year? We need a year burner account.
Oh, boy. April 7th.
That's going to be tricky, because that might give them away.
Oh, boy. April 17. That would be a little less than 5 months from now. That would next April 17 would be what?
That tax day?
That would be 2 days after tax day.
Well, they do the
There
extension
you go.
sometimes.
1950.
That isn't. I don't believe that. The person should be 72 years old.
And by the way, the 440.
So wait, do you know a Radar? April 17, 1950.
April
There's no
17,
way.
1950. Let's see if I remember correctly. That would be on a Monday in 1950, because that was a Medic Monday in 1950.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Good job, Radar.
Wow.
You're not guessing, are you?
No,
These are amazing guesses. And that wasn't the right day. There's no way that burner account owner is
They
from
still got it.
1950.
Sorry for 4-4 goal, because I could see one of the 4-4 goals messages said Kareem, LeBron, Jordan.
That's the actual 440 in goal. There's a
That's a
440
burner
burner account.
Which is probably Ryan
and
and,
they-
Sam are on different accounts.
That is something. That is
not to get off this this fascinating topic in Radar's
like trick shot magic.
Weird. It's crazy.
Radar's incredible mind, but I just want to know real quick, since we did Kobe at the beginning, I know we're local, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I'm assuming you do. I'm guessing you rank Kobe even ahead of LeBron. Do you, DJ?
I'm gonna go MJ, LeBron, Kobe.
So Kobe right below LeBron.
Yeah, and that's people are gonna be like, well, what about this guy? What about that's the people of my generation that I
Yeah.
know,
I
right?
think I agree. MJ, LeBron, Kobe.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agree right there. That's,
Stick it. I think that guy over there by the filing cabinets agrees with all of us.
Oh yeah.
I'm LeBron, MJ, Kobe, in that order.
You're wrong.
LeBron, the king.
The
He's
king
gonna
of
he's
what?
gonna return.
To where
Cleveland,
and do what?
win another championship.
No, he's not.
Him and his son.
His son's not coming here.
Oh, he will be.
Bronny.
Gosh.
Funny.
Maybe what's
my
the young
word.
one's name?
I
don't
know
remember.
Bronny's is coming out soon. I think
Oh, here it is. The old man comes out and says, "You all said Kareem wrong."
How do you say Kareem? Karam?
No.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He was talking that we didn't say Kareem, so we said Kareem. He thinks Kareem's the best.
No way.
see,
Oh, look who's back! Where did they get that picture?
That's my Twitter picture.
Richie Giuliano Jr. the 57th. Wow. You got a lot of Richie Giulianos around here. And there's a T in there, which we
God.
know that's your bugaboo. You do not like that.
No,
Ever.
not a fan of the T. in
How
the
did
name.
he spelled your name right on this, but he didn't spell the name right on the bad.
I didn't see him play, but if we
Here we
were
go.
just doing like fun hypotheticals, I'd probably even rank Magic ahead of Kareem, because Magic could play every position on the floor.
Them are fighting words, I believe, for all the older statesmen of the Power Hour. That's interesting.
Oh,
Very
do you
interesting.
remember those conversations we used to have on this show
Oh,
about
they're bad.
MJ and LeBron?
Quinn and I got into
They
it.
got personal.
They got bad.
Yeah, the 1 week I remember, I thought you were gonna start fighting Quinn. He really pissed you off.
I don't know. Something about that conversation, it drives me nuts. Like people that don't watch Michael Jordan play, and I guess the same conversation with Kareem. I've never really sat there and watched Kareem because to me that's boring basketball. Like Michael Jordan's as exciting basketball as it gets. Yes, same brand as LeBron James, but Michael Jordan wasn't sitting there crying for calls 24/7 constantly. But Michael also didn't play as long as LeBron, so the fact that you don't have Chris Bosh in your top 3 is mind-blowing.
Chris Bosh.
Is that Chris Bosh for the Heat or Chris Bosh for the Raptors?
NBA champ though.
NBA champion. That's right.
Yeah.
He'll go down in the history books. All right, let's flip the switch on this one. Let's get to talking about some high school sports because we got some great stuff going on this weekend. If you don't know, we got Canfield, South Range, not in that particular order of playing, but Canfield, South Range, and Warren JFK. If you're talking about the order of play, it's South Range, Canfield, Warren JFK. how do you guys feel about 3 schools being represented?
That's absolutely awesome.
I got to say, very excited for South Range, Canfield, and JFK, and particularly with how the 3 schools got to this point, how particularly with the South Range part a little bit, hit especially on that point, DJ, because who could remember back in week number 4 when they committed 6 turnovers against Struthers and yet somehow
You
won.
didn't. I know you would. You'd never forget that, Mr. Struthers.
But I really can say that to me was really the mark of a true champion was how South Range pulled it off against Struthers, and that along with the other games, particularly he pulling Seminary and then in the postseason, particularly the Mooney game in the regional semis, and there you can say really that South Range really has what it takes really to beat Ironton and to become a state champion for the first time ever. One to go 16 and a big goose egg 0.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Scotty, how do you feel about the 3 teams?
It's just as far as South Range goes, it's just wild to me how much like their program has evolved, because I remember right when they really started becoming a perennial power, and it was when I was still in high school, and I think this was like 2005. They played my Lowville Rockets. It was the end of the year, and Lowville needed a win over South Range to get in the playoffs. And South Range demolished them that night.
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah, this team is like really good. They're for real. And it's not that like Lowville, we weren't great that year, but even with that being said, like I knew at that moment, I'm like, they might have something here at South Range. Since then, they've been good so many years, and they've been knocking on that door, and it just feels like they might be ready to kick it in this year when it comes to the Raiders.
Kristen?
I'm very honored just to see that we have 3 in the Mahoning County. That's absolutely amazing, and all the hard work that they've put into the season.
Yeah, the Valley's very well represented from that standpoint when you think about it. I mean, JFK, Trumbull County, they've got Canfield and obviously South Range and Mahoning County. But it's weird. People oftentimes confuse South Range with a Columbiana County school for some reason, because North Lima is kind of close, but it's still Mahoning County. But it's been a while for Columbiana County in the state championship. Believe it or not, 1995, the Lisbon Blue Devils were the last ones to win the state championship in football for Columbiana County. So, going to be interesting. Going to be very interesting. Richie, you and I have kind of already said our piece about it, and we'll continue to say our piece. Last night, was that emotional last night. Have Coach Yeagley and obviously Shane Lindstrom, Coach Rock, as well as Jake Starkey and Chris Colucci on the show last night, the South Range Raider show. And, I talked about it after with some of the people that were there, the community members, parents. It was almost like a valve release last night of emotions for some of these South Range, the coaches and the players, because there's so much buildup emotionally and excitement in this game that it was just kind of like you have to, if you're in a plant, you got to release the valve a little bit to release the pressure. So hopefully that helped them out from that scenario. I know that there were so many people that really enjoyed last night's show because it was raw. It was real, myself included. There was a couple of times that there was the old Kermit the Frog up here in my throat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying not to get too choked up and successfully somehow did it. I talked to Coach Yeagley after and I said, I don't know how. Anytime Coach Yeagley cries, it's instant. I start going. But when Shane lost it last night, that was a tough one. And then what people didn't get to see was right after he left the table and went and hugged his dad. And it was starting to get choked up just thinking about it. But it was a cool, lots of cool moments last night. Great turnout, which tells me that Friday we're going to have great turnouts for South Range. We're going to have great turnouts for Canfield, and as always, we're going to have great turnout for JFK on Saturday. So I'm
Absolutely.
really excited. Really, really.
That's
excited.
a early bird special.
Yeah.
South Range.
Little Raiders with your breakfast.
Me and Anthony were diving into it a little bit earlier. I'm serious when I say this. I really hope they get a good night's sleep. They get up there and
think about that though, Scotty. Like we say that. How are they? Like I didn't realize it till last night when I asked Shane how he's going to sleep. Like literally how he's going to sleep Thursday into Friday, because they got to be on a bus at 7 a.m. But you think about how tough it is. You're in your first ever state championship in program history. How do you find a way to sleep? Like, I'm excited. I'm not even playing. I won't sleep.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because the adrenaline just has to be flowing. So I don't know, man. I guess there's got to be something really boring they could do to make them.
How would you sleep on a big night?
I don't have a problem sleeping.
Well, I know that
at all. That's one thing that is reliable. I put my head on the pillow and I can be out like that. Like even if it's a big game, I got to call the next day, or even when I was in high school playing a regional championship, I never had problem sleeping. I don't know why. When we go Thursday night, Romo and I will probably talk for, probably 2 hours, and then I'll just be like, all right, I'm going to bed.
I have to imagine.
I'll turn over. I'm out.
I have to imagine that we'll all be in the lobby.
That's what I told him too. I'm like, we're going to be in the lobby for a while.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because even when I watch games as a fan, say when the Browns actually win games, which is rare, but when they do what they did this past week, and they beat Tom Brady, and it's man, there's a lot of times after they win like that, after the game, I'm so jacked up over it, and I didn't even play in it. Yeah. I had nothing to do with it, but it's I have a hard time sleeping that night.
You just had to sneak in the Browns beating Tom Brady into this broadcast, didn't you?
I wish Grundy was here.
That's why he's not here.
I had to get one in there.
Grundy's a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Huge.
Now he's not here. He said he's going to be here.
They should have wore the creamsicle jerseys.
Do they have them?
I think they do. Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't seen them yet. If they have them, I can't wait to see them. All right. So from this standpoint, what are you most excited about? What do you want to see on Friday and Saturday from these teams? Obviously, other than a state championship, what are you most excited about for them and for what the record books and the storybooks all hold for this group of I guess the class of three in JFK, South Range, and Canfield?
I think I'm just most excited about, for me, the more I think about these games and these teams, it's just, for me, their story and how everything's going to end up, how is it gonna finish for them. But I just want to see when that adversity hits. This is the big thing I'm going to be watching, because at some point you would at least expect a little bit of adversity for every one of these teams.
Sure.
I just want to see how they respond to that. And South Range, I mean, they have the experience. Mm-hmm. They have the pain of, getting close and coming up short against teams like Kirtland. So it's I think because they've been there and it just feels like one of those seasons where they've been on a mission all year, even though they did lose some key people, very good players. But it's like these guys have stepped up now, and I really think they're ready to tackle that adversity. I guess that's the biggest thing I want to see from all three teams is how do they take that first punch, because everything is so much more magnified now. Every play call, every
penalty, everything.
Yeah, so I just want to see how they respond.
I like it. Radar, how about you?
Something goes wrong.
I sort of echo really Scotty's point a little bit, particularly with how do you respond to the first punch, particularly if South Range is scored upon, Canfield is scored upon, or let alone JFK is scored upon against them, is going to be very, very interesting, because I would like to see really the people really respect the game, as in the Ohio High School Athletic Association slogan really stands for, particularly how it's won or lost.
Okay. Kristen?
I gotta echo these guys, especially
There's an echo in here.
like the penalties. How are you gonna not get a ton of penalties? I mean, that's for not just this game, any game. And then again, if the other team scores first, how are you gonna try to tie the game or go ahead if it's just the 3 points?
I also think too, it's like it's something I will be watching for too. It's like these teams, they have what they've been good at all year, and what really is their thing they go to that kind of gives them that boost. It's like their spinach. It's like Popeye. But like I'm wondering, like, do they just continue to just totally just go with what they're good at, or because it's at this level, do they really like open up the bag of tricks when it comes to play calling and things like that? Like, are we gonna see some reverses here? Maybe a flea flicker.
Oh, the old flea flicker.
Yeah.
That's what I'm watching out for.
Me too.
Let's get some questions here, guys, that they have for us. And Go Falcons Go says, would you rather them play these games at night? Do you think the players get as hype at 10 a.m. as rather than at nighttime? That's an interesting question, because a lot of people talk about it. But, I mean, listen, this is where coach speak and player speak comes into reality, because if you're playing for a state championship, everybody says, I'll play on the moon, I'll play in the parking lot, I'll play at 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you play at 3 o'clock in the morning, I guess 10 o'clock in the morning isn't that bad.
Yeah.
But, in talking to, if you watched the show last night, you heard Coach Yeagley say, hey, the reason we practice at, on Thanksgiving Day at 10 a.m. is because, hey, we're going to be playing next week at 10:30. So you get a little bit hype when you start hearing these. But I got to be honest with you. These guys have they get on the bus at 7 o'clock. They'll get there at 8 o'clock. And, there's not a whole lot of sleep time, not a whole lot of nap time. So they do have to get a good night's sleep. The advantage this time, even though the Raiders Raiders, Cardinals, and JFK all had a little bit of travel time last week. They only have to go 45 minutes to an hour away. Whereas these other teams are coming up from what?
Ironton's near the border of West Virginia.
Yeah.
So that's a long drive. It's on the river. Canfield's playing Bloom Carroll, who's southeast of Columbus.
Wow.
It's not a bad
3+.
And then you got New Bremen, who's on the western part of the state of Ohio. So
it's probably 3+.
Yeah.
So you're talking about teams that have 3+ hours of drive time on. Now, whether they come in that night or they come in the morning, I don't know. But you got to believe that kind of goes in favor of our local teams here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting. All right, let's get to some other ones. Go ahead, Kristen.
I did have a say to the morning or evening. I'd rather it be done in the morning because you're all fired up and the players want to go ahead and go. So
I mean, if I had to pick, I'd play 7 o'clock because there's
Really?
nothing like primetime football. No, there's nothing like you've been playing 7 o'clock all year long, but if you're playing for a state championship.
yeah, I mean you're all fired up. Let's go.
But do you mean like 7 o'clock as a
PM.
fan?
Yeah.
Like
As a player, I mean, there's I don't care what anybody says, and this is coming from a baseball player. There is absolutely nothing as special in high school sports as Friday Night Lights. There's nothing. You can try to emulate it. You can try to put baseball under the lights, which is cool, but it's not the same thing. It's Friday Night Lights, and to win a state championship in that manner, I think is one of the coolest things. But our guys and gals never have that opportunity because we're always the 10:30 game. We're always the 3 o'clock game because it's Division I and
So Division I's at night.
what's the other one? Division II? Did they put 2 at night?
2's at night. Tuesday. 2 is Thursday night. Hoban Toledo Central Catholic is Thursday night at 7. Division I plays after Canfield
Friday
at
night.
7 o'clock at night.
And then they wrap things up on Saturday.
Yep.
So, it's
and
very
it's how long has it been that way every year for like
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they used to play in the shoe.
Yep.
And then the 1 year at Massillon because of COVID.
The only way you'd be able to play every game at 7 is if you have multiple venues.
And they don't want that because they want everybody going to multiple games.
okay.
I actually remember in '99 because I went to the Poland Championship. I remember that one being during the day,
Yeah.
like
that
at
one was
3
during the
o'clock,
day.
I think.
I remember the game for Lisbon was I was in school.
Oh,
and
okay.
My seventh grade math teacher, I think, was Mrs. Salinas, who was the wife of Jim Salinas, who was the head football coach for Lisbon that year.
She was there?
She was at school.
Wow.
Oh, wait.
Well, you got to make the money.
Oh,
You got to make the money. That's why.
Make the bread.
But I'm sure every so often she was checking her phone. Okay,
We were
we're
listening
up.
to it in class. I remember it.
Oh, okay, there
She
you
had the
go.
radio on. Go Falcons Go says top 5 state championship games of all time. Could be football or another sport. Ooh.
Oh boy,
I say Ursula and Clinton Massey was.
That was
really good
one.
that would be one. Poland would be one of mine.
I'd say Canfield against Toledo Central Catholic in 2005.
South Range
Okay.
State Championship baseball.
And
Well, that's got to be up there.
I was also going to add that Lisbon the title in '95. That has to be one of
I
them
don't even remember.
for me. That's football, and
Baseball played Coldwater, I think.
then then who can remember 07 with Mooney and Coldwater?
Yeah, I was at that game.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're very fortunate in this area to have
Mhm.
the kind of representation when it comes to state championships.
We have so many good teams,
Yep.
and I think a lot of these good teams get overlooked because they don't have a good season. But really,
The Girard, I mean, the game
Yeah.
wasn't great. The Girard game from was that 17? I think.
yeah,
17.
I think.
And with the Mark Wade era, I mean, it was a good run for Girard. I remember that run was amazing. Some of the games that they won. That Ursuline game last year.
That was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Springfield.
Yes,
Springfield.
we got to mention Springfield because they've
They
gone
had the lead too.
at least 3 times in a row. Not this year though.
The
I
kid
think
returned
3.
that punt.
That punt return. I was standing on the sideline because I was down there to interview and get video for Springfield.
Yeah.
Because Anthony and Jamie
up there.
were announcing it. And I remember going down thinking, okay, we got this in the bag. And that punt return.
He took it like 65 yards.
I remember that too.
I really enjoyed the year Hopper made that deep run too when they had OJ Scott.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
one
yeah.
for you. How about West Branch in COVID when it got called?
Oh,
Because I think
yes,
they
yes.
could have done it.
that's right.
I remember
girls.
that.
Yep.
Because I remember they're already there. Just let them play.
That was
Just
on
let
the
him
floor.
play.
On the floor, and they pulled him off. And that was
To me, that would have been. I would have been if I were the coach. I'm like, we're already here. They're already here. Just let us play.
And
was that the state semi though?
It was a state semi.
Uh-huh.
But then you also had on the other side for the boys, Cheney was supposed to play Akron St. Bede's,
Yeah,
and it got canceled.
I remember.
That was so. Oh.
And we can say as much as we want, Cheney was going to take him because nothing St. Bede's can do about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of it. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about, or we can reminisce. Put your questions in the chat box. We'd love to answer them. Listen to the gurus over here to the right of us. Just local schmucks. That's all we are over here. So we'll be back in a minute right here on the Ysn Power Hour, powered by Toyota of Warren.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Welcome back to the Ysn Power Hour. We're getting our thoughts collected here as we get some of these rolling in. And here we go. Sammy chiming in and says, I'm looking forward to seeing Brock Lowry in person on this big stage. Take it away, man.
Yeah, he will not disappoint. That's all I have to say. If you are able to, see some highlights from that game from Holy Name, oh my goodness, did he take that game over in a hurry? I mean, we talked about it on Monday. Mike Ackelson likes to call him Houdini just because of there's 6 guys around him, and you can't even see his jersey. He somehow gets out of there, and then he runs for 50 yards down the sideline for a touchdown. And as good as he is on the ground, the reason that Indiana likes him is because of his accuracy and his arm strength. And Canfield, historically, they don't throw the ball much, if at all. I mean, there's some record set at Canfield where guys have rushed as a quarterback for over 600 yards in a single game. And that just doesn't happen at a lot of other schools. But Coach Pavlansky and their entire offense has kind of opened up this playbook around him and letting him throw it a little more with some of the senior receivers that they have who have done a fantastic job this season. So, when Sam and Ryan come up and they watch him play, they're going to be impressed with him on the ground because he's one of the best runners in the state of Ohio as a quarterback. But when you see him throw it, as long as the conditions are good, he's one of the most accurate throwers that Canfield's ever had.
So let me ask you this question. Do you think that Canfield's going to have to open up that playbook a little bit more and let Brock throw the ball in order to win a state championship?
I think so. I think Coach Pavlansky's watching some of the tape with Bloom Carroll where they have not defended the pass very well in the last couple of weeks. Now, Tippecanoe was a team that, run the ball and they couldn't get much on the ground. Like their running back, I think, had less than 50 yards on the ground, which is impressive as a defense. So when you look at Tippecanoe and what they like to do, they like to throw it and run it. They couldn't run it at all, and they had to open up that pass game. They were able to effectively pass against Bloom Carroll, but they turned the ball over. That was the big thing. They had an interception. They turned the ball over twice in the first quarter with back-to-back fumbles on the first 2 drives. So they were inside Bloom Carroll territory. One inside the 5 they fumbled on the opening possession. Second one inside the 35. So, I think Canfield, they know they've got a great running game with their line and Danny Inglis, but, win the state championship Friday, if they're able to open it up in the air, which they did against Holy Name, I think this team could win state.
Doesn't it make you smile when you know that there's a whole bunch of plays left in the playbook that
they got
haven't
a whole
been called?
playbook. Yeah, they got a whole playbook.
You look at JFK. We went into that game on Saturday, and everybody was just talking trash about JFK. Well, their offense, it's not good. It's all about their defense. Yeah, it is about their defense, but their offense showed up too, and so did their special teams. So I can't wait. And as far as South Range goes, I've been told there's 50% of the playbook that they haven't used yet.
Yeah,
and that's incredible to me. So listen, they're not going to hold it over till next year, boys and girls. They're using it on Friday at 10:30 a.m.
I do got to add one more thing.
Go ahead.
I hope these teams do not give up this weekend. Give everything you can and just do not give up.
Amen, sister.
I mean, this is the final game, so.
It is.
Just don't give up.
For all the marbles.
Yes.
Yeah. One more thing I got to add a little bit. If they all really work their butts off really since back in the heat of summer in early August for Canfield, JFK, and South Range. They earned their ticket to this very moment. It's time. You seized that moment. Now it's time for you guys to bring a championship to the Valley.
Are you reading that, Radar?
Not really, but I can say really on the 3 points right there. They're really for Canfield. Really, they on the defensive side a little bit. How do you stop Bloom Carroll's big O line? And when I saw it a couple of late last weekend, I'm like, oh, is this the opponent that Canfield has to deal with? But I know Pavlensky has a real good game plan, and I think really Canfield is really going to come away a state champion for the first time in their football history. And they were so close in 05 when they played Toledo Central Catholic, but came up just a little bit short. I say really Canfield is going to be a state champion for the first time ever. Yeah.
Oh.
Final score for me, he give it to Canfield, held 34 to 24 over Bloom Carroll.
34-24. Okay. Kristen, what do you have?
I'll say 30-24.
30.
Over them. Yes.
Canfield wins.
Yes.
Okay, Scotty.
I'm gonna stick with my earlier score prediction because I did it for all three, and I'm gonna say Canfield wins this one 24-17.
24-17. So really, 10-7 or 7-10 points.
Yeah.
What about South Range? We'll start with Scotty this time.
I don't know. I just get the feeling it's gonna be a pretty high scoring one.
Okay.
That one, but I can't. I got Raiders fever now, especially hanging around with Anthony so much. He talks about maybe us calling the basketball game together this year, but
yeah.
When it comes to football, I'm saying 34-30.
Ooh.
Oh my!
Oh, Nelly, we're gonna bomber for you.
I think I have to agree with Scotty because they've been pouring the points on, and I have a funny feeling that it's going to be a close one this time.
Radar.
Alrighty, my point on the South Range and Ironton D5, which is Friday morning. Just think about it. South Range is double-digit favorite, but remember, think back to last Saturday with Ohio State, Michigan, which is another story, but which I can't get into. But I really could say for South Range, they really have to not only have to play their speed match Ironton speed, but also Ironton, they got a couple of student athletes that will be headed to big time college ball right after this year. So I say it's really going to be exciting really for me to take a look at. But I think really that I agree with Kristen and Scooter a little bit. South Range will be a first-time state champion after Friday. By the time we end the midday on Friday, it gives South Range the edge, 35 to Ironton's 24.
Ooh, 35-24. Did you just pull a swerve on us, Mr. Radar?
I do.
All right. JFK, who do you have, Radar? We'll start with you and go back around.
Okay. Hey, JFK, their defense has really been incredible the last couple of weeks, particularly the one a couple of weeks back against Danville in that great come-from-behind win. I would say fly, Eagles, fly and bring the victory bell back to Warren JFK come the time Saturday evening rolls around. Give the edge to JFK over New Bremen in a rematch of that title game 2 seasons ago. It's going to be sweet revenge for JFK. Give the edge to JFK by a score of 23-13 over New Bremen.
Kristen.
I'm going to say 21-14.
21-14.
JFK, of course.
JFK. All right.
Scotty?
Yeah, I mean, you talked about just a moment ago, DJ, how good the defense has been, but how these last couple weeks, they really every facet of the game, they played well. They showed up. So I think they're gonna score points in this one. I'm gonna say JFK gets 30. I'm gonna say 30-15
Okay.
as a final.
So all three of you are going sweeps for the Valley.
Yeah.
Three for three.
I can't. I gotta go for the Valley, man. Can't with 3 teams in that we got in all our schools. I'm gonna be optimistic. It's hard to be optimistic with the Browns, but all my optimism bleeds into these area schools, high schools.
All right, let's check up on the comments. Randy chimes in and says, more of an individual award, but Jared Wilson's back-to-back state championships in golf for Columbia. That kid is a stud. We need him on our team for scrambles. Sammy says, doesn't Canfield have one? I swear there's a state championship sign before you get to the Christmas lights street.
Baseball.
Okay, yeah.
And softball. Baseball and softball. 2006, 2007.
Rocco Turner at the Golf State Championship this year. Yes, absolutely. Congratulations, Rocco. I think Randy's a bit of a golf fanatic.
Yeah.
If I'm picking it up right. Oh boy, here we go. Chris Colucci pin in state wrestling duels to clinch state championship for South Range. I remember that vividly, watching in my basement and jumping up in excitement. Yeah, absolutely. Love that one. We have which team is in your guys' opinion, will have the toughest game out of the 3? Who matches up? And I think that's 2 questions. Who matches up the best with one of our local teams? Who do you think's got the toughest game?
I gotta say this first a little bit. Then who do you think the toughest game for me would have to be the South Range Ironton matchup in Division 5.
Why is that?
Ironton's, like I said a moment ago, they got the speed. They got a couple of student athletes that will be headed to big time college ball come next year, and I really think that Ironton's really got the matchup to match up with South Range. But like I said, the South Range can really match Ironton's in speed for speed. And I think really it's going to be one of the great games come Friday morning when it kicks off at 10:37, which is Canton in Canton, Ohio.
10:37.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the official start time?
That is the official kickoff time.
10:37.
That is.
How did we not get that? We're going to announce the game, and we don't even know it's 10. It's 10:30 for us. 8 o'clock for us. Let's go to Siggy wants to know, will Radar be watching, listening, or will he be live in Canton? The people want to know.
Well, obviously, I'm gonna be listening to into that South Range game a little bit on Friday morning, and then and also we'll be listening a little bit on the Canfield Friday afternoon, and then the JFK Saturday afternoon, listening to you guys is a little bit, and I would say really those 3 schools really are in their way to state, and I'll listen to all of them, and hopefully one of those schools will be a state champion by the time this weekend is over and done with.
We got to go blue from the tattoo guy.
Ouch.
No comment.
Radar, I have a feeling that the Purple Cat will be listening to the South Range game on Friday.
We will be.
And that's good for me, but not for Scotty.
The Golden Pipes of Gary Niddle.
Yeah, because Scotty will be at the office, and he might be listening too, but he won't be listening with us.
Oh, Scooter, do you have a comment?
I'm just gonna say that I'm ready for it, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's kick this. The more I think about it, the more I like that 10:30 start time.
Amen, buddy. All right, Radar. You know what time it is.
It is time for What's Your Spark?
Presented by
Joe Dickey Electric.
Here we go. Do you want to do that? Can you do the tag? Can you remember it?
This is the Joe Dickey Electric's. This is the What's Your Spark presented by Joe Dickey Electric on ysnlive.com to close out to the Ysn Power Hour. And it all begins with What's My Spark? And I really can say there's so much we talked about on the high school football front a little bit, but let's not forget that high school basketball, boys and girls already just started their seasons, and let's not forget there's even high school bowling that is already underway. Hey, there's so many local YSN schools, and we're here to support all of them, and may we say good luck to each of them throughout this coming winter. And I really can say this one time, you can tune into ysnlive.com for all the exciting high school basketball action, particularly my own alum of Struthers High School. The Lady Cats, their first home game is tomorrow night. And the boys' first home game at Struthers Fieldhouse is a week from Friday night.
And again, our Spark is brought to you by DickeyElectric.com. Anything commercial, residential, anything electrical, head over to DickeyElectric.com. Proud home of Joe Dickey Electric. Scotty.
My spark, I was thinking about this today, and as Radar said at the top of the show, I made it another year around the sun.
Amen, brother. Cheers.
This past Monday was my birthday, and just it's really difficult for me to talk about my feelings, and really I never want to come off as a woe is me guy, but it doesn't mean that I don't need people believing in me and supporting me and in my corner. And I just want to thank you, DJ, for your really your post on my birthday. It meant a lot to me. I'm getting sappy, but it was a bit of a tearjerker, man. It was heartwarming, and one of my favorite things you ever posted is DJ. You posted one day, you said you survived 100% of your bad days, and as bleak as I can get caught up in my head and think negative at times, it's like I'm still here, and I just appreciate all the people that have believed in me and the opportunity you've given me, DJ, and everybody, because life does get hard, but I've been okay. I've been successful, so thank you guys. I know I'm going on and on, but thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. Radar's got the standing O, or the sitting O right there.
Happy
Kristen, how do we follow that one?
How do you feel? Good luck.
Yeah. All right. I do have a spark this week.
All right, we're ready for it.
I know everybody knows how big of a YSU fan I am, especially football. The first team, second team, and everything just came out, and we had two players on the first team this year, Joel McLaughlin, of course, and then Bryce Oliver. Hats off to them. They both had excellent years.
Nice job.
I did.
Buddy.
And incidentally, Joel McLaughlin became the Missouri Valley Football Conference Player of the Year, this Offensive Player of the Year this week.
He did.
Oh my! Alrighty, Pete. Already. Before we go, Kristen, Scotty, and I would like to wish the South Range, JFK, and Canfield football teams good luck in this coming weekend in the States, and all we can say is we're with you, and we're with you big time. Let's bring a championship home, and the DJ, you and Richie, good luck this coming weekend, because it's going to be, I would say it's going to be the best weekend really of the whole entire year.
I thought you were gonna go Seinfeld on Richie Radar and say, "No spark for you."
Richie, what is your spark?
This is pity now.
Yeah, we got pity sparks
We
over
got
here.
pity sparks. No, I mean, last day at Coca's, I know you finished up with Legends, and just want to thank Steve and his entire organization for having us. We got to talk to every single senior that the football team had to offer. Biggest class, I think, ever in Canfield history, with 28 football seniors. And, we're sprinkling down to the juniors a little bit. So, I just appreciate their time, and, Coca's for having us and, giving us the appetizers every week and treating us the best they possibly could. So, that's my spark. Wrapping it up. Final one tonight. So, it should be good.
I hate to burst your bubble, but I was told last night, and I'm guessing that Steve's probably going to be the same way.
If they win, we'll probably have
If they win, we're doing another. And I shouldn't say if. When
they win.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing another one. So I signed off last night thinking that was it from Legends. My buddy Rick Friday comes over, puts his arm around me and goes, "We'll see you next week." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "When they win, we're gonna come do this again." So I don't want to rule out the possibility that we have another Tuesday and Wednesday. If they win, if Canfield wins, we're going live on Wednesday.
Coca, I mean, he'll do it.
We're going live. And then we're going live on Tuesday when South Range wins. And then when JFK wins, we'll find a place on that Thursday to go live with them and do a celebration. So with that being said, that's our spark. Is I can't wait to do one more show for all the marbles and to talk about the great things that are going on in our valley. Because like I said yesterday, and I believe it with my whole heart, when we win 3 state championships this weekend, the entire sports world will look to Northeast Ohio and wonder, what do we have going on? And then and only then will they realize what we've known for the last 6 years. And that's our area is very special, and that's why YSN exists. For the Guru Crew, that's Richie. I'm DJ. That's going to do it for our show today. God bless you. We will see you tomorrow, 3 to 4, right here on the Power Hour. Peace. YSN thanks you for